Hey guys, welcome back. The title of the video is going to be the dinner conversation that changed my life forever. Thankfully, smartphones did not exist. Thankfully, they did not exist. So, this dinner I had happened when I was, I think, around 17 years old. It was around when I was 17 and I had dinner with my dad. All right. And we used to have dinner every now and then. We'd go out to this place called Big Boy. If you don't know what Big Boy is, it's just a middle to lower class restaurant in the Midwest. I don't know if there's too many around these days, but it had okay food. And my family would go there as a special treat, maybe once every other week. We'd go there as a family. And when I was 17, my father took me there, and I don't even remember the context of why he took me there. Maybe he took me there to have this conversation about my future, or it was just brought up kind of just at the whim when we were eating our dinner. Now, let me give you a little bit of background story about, my upbringing, and it'll give you guys some context of why this dinner conversation was so important. So my parents did not go to university starting out when they got first married, but my mom did end up going up and getting her associate's degree as a hygienist. She was a dental assistant, and she wanted to upgrade to that dental hygienist. So she did that when I was like 13 years old. She went back to school and I saw that, and I saw how important it was because she did generate more income after the fact. And I think my father saw this as well. He saw this. And when we went to dinner that night, he asked me, Dan, do you want to go away to college? Do you want to go away to maybe Central Michigan or Western Michigan or whatever college it was at the time that I was interested in? Okay, my parents, their number one goal was to pay for my college. And the plan was to, for the most part, stay at home and, go to college from home. My mom is very strict when it comes to saving money. She's kind of cheap when it comes to saving money, but she did want to pay for college. But she wanted to do it where I was going to stay at home to save money and all that. But my dad, he's kind of more on the risky side. He's all about spending some money, but he's still pretty conservative when it comes to money. But he was like, Dan, I think you should go away to college. I think you should go away and you'll learn much more about yourself. And to be honest, I was probably more of an introvert in high school. I had good friends and all that, but I was pretty shy for the most part. And going away to college, let me tell you something. There's a lot of value there when you're 18 years old and you don't know who you are. And when you go away to college on your own, you learn a lot about yourself. All right. Now, I don't know if that's still the case these days. I think it is. Granted, people spend a lot more money because college is probably 10 times more expensive than it was back in 1998 when I graduated. But I digress. This conversation, I don't know if it was planned, to be honest. I think my mom was kind of surprised when I got back home and I was like, Dad said I could go away to college, Mom. I'm sure they had probably an interesting conversation, that night, after we went to bed and all that. So I don't know what the conversation was, but my mom did end up saying, yeah, Dan, you can go away to college. Now, why was that so important? Why is that one moment in my life, that dinner conversation, so important? Well, it set me up for success. When I went away to school to Central Michigan University, I went and got this chemistry degree. I joined a fraternity. I learned how to be social, interactive, work with other intellectual people in an organization in that fraternity. What else? I met my wife at my school, and we dated for 3, 4, 5 years or whatever it was, and then we got engaged, and I married this girl. All right, now we've been married ever since. So that dinner conversation was extremely important in my life. And what else did I do? Oh, I got a job at Dow Chemical when I was at Central Michigan University as a co-op. It was a half-hour drive away. I would drive there 20 hours a week while I was going to school. I did that for two years, and then I got a full-time job while I was in school. So I was doing 40 hours a week and doing my last like 16 or 17 credits that last senior year. So yeah, that conversation that we had at dinner changed my life forever. And it's good to self-reflect on these moments, because hopefully you'll create the same moments for your children. And that is the second part to this video, the title of the video. Thankfully, smartphones did not exist. Now, when I think about that dinner conversation, and when I look around when I go out to dinner today, what are all these people doing? They're all on their smartphones. And let's assume that smartphones did exist when my father and I went out to dinner that night. I don't know if he had it planned for me to go to college. Maybe it just came up in conversation. If he would have been on his cell phone, let's say on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever is out there, and let's say I was 17 and I had a smartphone and we were both sitting there, twiddling our thumbs, texting back and forth, would that conversation have even come up for me? Would my life have changed if those stupid cell phones existed back then? I don't know. And that's the thing that we all need to consider and think about as families, as far as what are we doing? When you see families going out to dinner, that's where moments are made, is at the dinner table. I've talked about this in a previous video. Are moments being missed out because of smartphones? Let me know in the comments below if you guys think that's the case. I really think it is. There are moments in time when people are interacting with each other that we're missing, all right? These moments that can change your life forever or other lives forever. Maybe it's something you say in conversation that changes someone's perspective for the rest of their life. Maybe they meet someone because of your conversation that you're talking to them. Maybe it's someone you know and you help them meet a mate, right? Or maybe it's some youth that wants to converse with you and get your attention, and you say something impactful to them because you're not on your smartphone, jibber jabbering on BS social media. That's what we're missing today. These conversations that could be had, we are missing. Now, that's not the point of the entire video, but I thought, man, my life would have been completely different. I don't think I would be as successful as I am today if I didn't go away to college, if I didn't have that conversation with my father that night. All right? So remember this when you have your children or you're with your friends. Put the smartphones down, because you could change their lives forever at the dinner table. The dinner table is not talked about enough in this world. We don't talk about it enough. And it's one of the most important things that you see in those old 50s, 40s movies. The family gets together at the dinner table. There's a reason why humans would gather and eat together, because people's lives would be changed when conversations were had, ideas came up with a family. When you think about it for a moment, when you look at a company as well, what do the executives and the high-ups at companies do? They go to dinner all the time and they talk business, and they have, boardrooms and conference rooms where they talk about ideas and they discuss things, and it changes companies' futures forever. So the same thing applies when it comes to you and your family and your friends. Break bread together. That is what will change your future for the better. So that is my story as far as one event at the dinner table that changed my life forever. And I still remember it to this day. I still remember, sitting one-on-one with my father. And, I don't remember like the vibe. I think I was excited about it. I did not even think that he would propose I go away to school. I didn't think they could afford it. And to be honest, they barely did. They barely were able to afford it. And, but they did it. They sacrificed quarter after quarter, whatever the tuition and the living expenses were. So that conversation changed my life forever. And hopefully you guys are having those good conversations in your lives. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. You know, is this a problem we still have in society? I'm not trying to make this video a problem video, but you know, I think it's something to consider when building wealth for your family, to change everyone around you's future at the dinner table and those conversations that we should be having. So anyways, if you guys could take a look at my previous video, and everyone have a wonderful day. Thanks guys. Bye.